You're too late. We're live. We're live, pal.
We're live.
You can't do it again, pal. We're live.
Too much smoke in my face.
What is it I'm trying to say to me, Profi?
Well, we're live now, pal.
Aye, I know.
Will I get into trouble? Do you think I'll get into trouble for impersonating JR?
By who?
Is that who that was?
Somebody. Just told you the story before we went live.
I know, but that wasn't that good.
That was Andy's best impression.
Mind we can see you too.
I've been in the house for a month. Give me a break. Who's Andy?
Rudo.
Yeah.
Rudo. Oh, God. That's it.
Get it right.
I've messed up already.
Guess who? Small Jai. A small
Kiffy.
Jai with it.
Kiffy in the house. Big strong Kiffy.
There he is.
World champion bodybuilder.
Hey guys.
Hey guys.
That's your next impression. Do your Stromae impression.
Jester's Moz here.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
Just you behave, man. Stop sticking them in all the time for using other people's cups and.
No. Listen, can I just
Carol
say,
Barnes, she was a newsreader, huh?
Can I just say before we start anything, I've corrected my error for last night. My L cup instead of my E
I don't have
cup.
any cup.
Oh, right, they're
was
the
a
same,
simple-
but they've
It
got.
was a simple mix up.
This is my
I've
cup. This is my cup.
I started this today.
Oh,
I bought my son a Simpsons Easter egg
I feel
a couple of
as though
years ago because I was just wanted the cup.
I'm missing it here. I don't have a cup.
what you hot up?
I've got this.
That could be a cup.
Nah.
No, I'm not going to cut a hole in it. It's a
Not a
chai
hole
seed pet planter.
Huh?
Groot. So you put all these wee chai seeds with a kind of water mix in the top of it, and
Right.
eventually it's supposed to sprout wee leaves and stuff.
So we're going to kick off with, there's burning questions in the world, and thought we'd just get this out the road first thing because it's a bit of
Tell us, Rudo. What's up, Rudo?
What did you have for your dinner?
Well, have you had your dinner yet?
Considering it's 8 o'clock at night, yes, I've had my dinner.
Right, aye.
Time doesn't exist anymore. Time doesn't exist.
It does for me because I'm.
Get have your dinner. Get have your dinner whenever you want.
Have you not had your dinner yet?
I just took my dinner there.
Aye. Molly made me pork chops with some nice seasoning on it, some carrots, broccoli, and can't remember what it was. Mash, sweet potato mash.
Right, you say
Nice.
carrots and broccoli. How were these prepared? Were they just boiled? Were they steamed? Were they plain?
Steamed.
No, they would have been boiled or steamed, I'd imagine. I don't know how she works her magic in the kitchen.
See, I like my broccoli sautéed. You boil it. I just think it
Sautéed?
Aye. A wee bit of crunch in it.
I like
It is
the wee
like
steam bags
soy.
for Tesco.
Aye, very good. The wee Maggie bags.
Aye.
Right, aye,
Quid,
good.
quid a bag, boom in the micro, done.
I think we had one of the chicken things, the chicken bags the other night. It's already in the bag, ready seasoned.
I bought the stew one years ago, and it worked so well that my stew was so tender that I just made a big bag of gravy. There was no chunks in it. It was so tender. I was trying to fish, and I'm like, where did all the meat go? I just made this big bag of gravy.
Do you like cooking?
Yeah, I cook constantly.
Aye,
I
especially.
used to love cooking, and then the last 6 months I just hate it. I hate it. I hate all the prep and all the. It's fucking. I mean, like every time we make a meal in here, it just seems like it's like Gordon Ramsay's kitchen. Every dish in the house.
But you just
Like,
shout and
it's
swear
kind
at
of
it.
bothered with it.
You've got nothing else to do. Like that's the only thing.
I know that is actually one of the things that keeps a bit of routine is that the dinner gets made and the dishes and the kitchen gets cleaned and it is good, but just something quick.
I've been experimenting. I've been making all the stuff that I normally can't be bothered doing. So all the time in the world. So I've become an absolute king, a hummus king. And I'm not just talking regular. I'm talking lemon and coriander, roasted.
If you
carrot.
walked past somebody and they called you a hummus king, you'd be insulted.
I wouldn't, because I'd high five them and say, "Have you been
You're
looking
the
through my
hummus
kitchen window?" Don't even get me started on soup, carrot and coriander, leeking potato, lentil.
You're
red
making
carrot.
all this.
From scratch all the time. I had lentil dal for my dinner, which I made from scratch as well.
Is that the recipe that I gave you?
No, send it to me, but because that's my thing. That was my first one that I made. It was good, but I could tweak it.
So
what did you have for your dinner?
Oh, I had spaghetti bolognese with some garlic bread.
Oh,
it was a very hearty portion.
Homemade?
Nah, we normally have homemade spag bol, but the issue is that if you're going to get the big shop, the moment there's certain things you can't get and stuff. So
tomato paste. I couldn't get tomato paste.
We just need to get the jar, which is a lot easier. But for people that are watching that might not know, obviously you might know who we are individually, but we are actually, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on who you are, very close friends, and have been for 17 years, I believe.
We're in a horrible routine.
17, 18 years.
We're stuck with each other now.
Aye, like it's a 7-year thing, innit?
Aye.
If you've been friends with somebody for more than 7 years, then statistically they are going to be your friend for life. So that's maybe what we should have called this, Friends for Life.
The 17-year.
But
Friends for Life doesn't sound like I wouldn't be listening to that podcast. Or whatever you call it.
But I've just explained
Friends for
why,
Life,
and I've just explained why, and it's a good reason to call it that.
Let's ask everybody listening. Would you have preferred to be tuning into Friends for Life, or is anti-social distancing?
Anti-social distancing is cool, but
I like it.
As far as it's being pals, like, it's obvious it just happened organically over the years. But when we all have our annual night out or day out, because it's really hard to get rid of it any time of the year. But
he's a busy man.
When we're all lined up at the bar and we get the big group photograph, you look at the photograph and just think, why aren't any of you pals with each other? Like, not one.
It's a good lead into our first question that we've been asked, which we quite like to a crack at. What were your first impressions of each other?
Well, I know your first impressions of me, Beatty's, because you've told me the story a couple of times, but I can't really pinpoint my first impressions of either of you. But no, obviously no, because you're still here. Like, we're still finding a way to communicate with each other. But I suppose I met Andy first, 2002, and then I met Jester maybe end of 2003, 2004. Was it any later than that?
03.
Andy was like your typical, no the class clown, but like that guy who was bold and happy to stand out. And I wouldn't say I looked up to you. I looked up to Drew, but like I wanted to be pally with you. I felt as though I could relate to you because. Although I took a couple of pals along to the school, nobody really stuck at it. So you were the first one that I've kind of bonded with is becoming a pal. We took a wee trip down to Alton Towers one time together.
That's right. But that was the thing. That was the first time that we actually spent time together.
Aye.
Well, we went that trip. The
Melksham.
My first match, my first wrestling match. You were on that show as well. You were in the Battle Royal, and we travelled together down to Nottingham. It was not. I think we went on further down south, but we started in Nottingham, and I remember. I wish I still had the video because I don't. It's long gone, but I remember borrowing a camcorder and I filmed this whole weekend, and we filmed in this. You were just doing my head in the whole weekend.
That was annoying.
You kept doing this thing. You kept going like that.
I started coming out of my shell.
Every time I looked at him, he was doing this wee dance, and I just remember saying, "This guy is absolutely doing my nothing." But I didn't dislike you. You were just annoying me.
But that's exactly the same. That's exactly the same now because you're our best pals, but
we annoy each other.
Barry just does your nothing, and then you just give him a hard time about everything and don't give him peace. And
because he needs that. I think he needs that.
Nobody needs that. But you're the only person I know that can prod him to the point where he would explode on anybody else. But for some reason, he keeps his cool. In fact, on the way back to Benidorm the last time, you picked on him the full 5 days. Everything he done, every way he looked, moved, you slagged him off. If he wore a t-shirt, he looked stupid. His hair was daft. He was too loud. He was boring. He was ruining your holiday. And then And then I could just see Barry at our time just kind of going, just getting wound up. And then on the way back, he thought he'd escaped because he kind of nussled down. And then you flung the tappy of Pringles tube at him and woke him up and then pretended it was the news.
I just like, of course it was him, and of course he was trying to wake me up, but like, I just can't react.
I've never seen MD so relieved to get away from somebody.
No,
It's
but
really
that's
like in Glasgow Airport.
but let's be fair. Barry gives what he gets. I mean, he gives it out.
Listen,
It's no even though. It's no equal. It's nowhere near equal.
But Barry likes to wind people up.
He does.
And that's why I wind him up, because it's the opposite, isn't it?
Yeah,
People
it's
are feared
always
to wind him up in case he goes off on one and gets really angry or whatever. But I'm no scared of Barry. It's harmless, isn't it? It's harmless.
you know the reason you're no scared, because you're no fear to getting a doon. Like, you've had a doon, you know what a doon feels like. If the worst thing I could do to you is give you a doon, then you're going to.
But you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that to your pal for winding you up. If you wouldn't batter your pal for winding you up.
No.
We're at an age now where fighting and punching each other and all that, it's you don't do that in your mid-30s.
Do you know what you would give my Didi?
Adidi's fine.
Give my jobby jabber up the stairs.
You know.
This is for Benidorm.
That would be sore.
It would be sore with his big fingers. Jesus.
But
Big Linda
of course, we're all obviously stuck in our houses. I think we're busy. We're busy guys in general outside of this, and I think we've probably spoke to each other more in this scenario than we would normally. I think everybody's in the same boat. But what sort of stuff that someone else has asked about lockdown, and what sort of stuff is getting us through being at home? I mean, I can imagine.
Finish the last one.
Oh, you've had your time, right? Come on, you've had enough.
You've not said your first impression. You've not said your first impression, Andy.
My first impression, right? Well, right. Okay, sorry, folks. We're live, pal.
He's a new host.
Right, there you go. Rewind. Right, what's your first impression? My first impression of you, which I said was you were annoying. I don't remember my first interaction with Jester. I don't.
What about one of them? Because I don't think I remember. I get mine mixed. I think I've taken like 3 different times, and
I think I remember. I'm glad Anne's actually watching, because the first time something happened. I don't know what happened, but we ended up we went and get drunk. We went to our pal. We went to our pal Boner's house. We get drunk, and we were young. I was 17. I must have been 17. And we were sitting and we were drinking. When back then, you were stupid with drink. You would buy a crate of beer and a bottle of vodka for yourself, and you'd drink it. So we drank all this drink, the amount of drink. We just sat and drank.
The cans we kept stacking the cans, and we were inside them.
But this was like a Wednesday night, like just randomly, and I was too drunk to go up the road, so Lee took me to his house, which was across the road. And it took him ages to get me across the road, and I was lying in the street phoning in sick for my work the next day, like with the phone, trying to phone in sick. And
right in the middle of the street.
We got into the house and I was sick. When I got into Lee's, his mum had never. I don't think she'd ever met me.
She knew you, but
I think that was the first time she'd met me.
I
just was sick all over the place and made such a racket, and then there was a commotion because I'd stole the cup, the cup that she washes her hair with.
I remember it was a green plastic cup.
I've got the water. Drink of water.
No, but it's not. You were staring like that. You were staring like this. I'm going to get into trouble. And I was trying to slide the bin out, so you're sitting in the bin.
I remember that bit.
Get me a glass of water. Get me a glass of water.
I would love ice. I would love ice.
I would absolutely love.
But it did take your mum a while before But she was genuinely angry with me for a wee while after that. It took her a good, 6 months to start to warm to me again and like me again. I wasn't allowed in your house for 8 years.
I wasn't allowed in.
I wasn't allowed in the house.
You were bad.
Don't you dare let him in here.
Don't bring that drunk one back here.
It took a long time for that to blow over.
Probably because we were 17 and we watched the whole World Cup.
So but that's the best ones, isn't it? If you can recognise people's like Barry annoyed me, but it doesn't mean that we couldn't be pals. I think that's you summed it up quite well, because I think that we were brought up in a similar background, but just in different parts of the city. Like East End, Maryhill, they are kind of similar places for, being brought up. The same type of stuff happens in these wee sort of schemes. And
I think if we all went to the same school, we would have been pally, because you'd have found out, oh, he's into this, and the next thing. Like, you're very similar to BT Gunn, obviously, where you're into football, you're into all this kind of thing, you're into your soaps and that too, but it was unusual for somebody like you to like wrestling so much.
Well, this is my first impression of Andy, because my first day, obviously, it was this big industrial estate we started training in, and I was there early because I was frightened that he was getting into trouble, and I was sitting, and then some wrestlers were coming through the door, but obviously you go in with an idea of what you're going to see, and the first guy came through and he had like long hair and a big beard, and there was two of them. There was the tag team, so I was like, right, wrestlers. And then a couple of guys that were kind of muscly, and then Andy walked in with just a full trachea on, just taking the mickey out of it. It's like you were saying, kind of Jack the Lad, kind of troublemaker. So I was kind of getting myself ready, and then I just heard Andy screaming, and I looked up and he was lying belly down on a stack of blue mats with a Scotland flag on a bit of bamboo sticking out his arse. No, he's actual, like between the teachers going, help me! Can somebody help me, please?
he put himself in that position just for a laugh.
Just so he could shout for help, and I'm going, oh, what's happening here? I don't know this guy, I don't know whether to help him or not.
We could dedicate a full episode just to talking about his past
we should.
I found the picture. I couldn't crop it, unfortunately, but I'm going to try and bring it up here. So there's me in the background there with my Japan trachea on, which was what I loved it. I had a Japan trachea and a Sweden trachea, and that was my two track. That was the tracheas of the time. And then
of course you had your red t-shirt and your red 3-stripe joggies, and your kick pads that you tried to dye black that went grey. So they look
I could never get them right. I don't know why. It was just a bad idea. But that's the thing back then. Like, it was hard to get boots, and it was hard to get wrestling gear. Like, it wasn't readily available.
Nobody made anything.
I had to go to America. It was Easy Tights. I used to go to get my stuff. Mind Easy Money.
I used to go to
Easy Money, right enough, because he bumped everybody, mind.
He bumped Liam Thompson's still waiting and stuff. For like 17 years ago. Yeah, I'll get it to you, man.
I'm just finishing it off. I'm just double stitching it now. I'm married now. I'm married. I've got 2 dogs. I was a child when I ordered these, eh?
I know we touched on the lockdown thing there, but this is probably a better. We're kind of talking about the first time when we started wrestling and stuff. Like, what sort of other stuff were you up to at that point in time? Like, what direct? Because we were all similar. We were all similar ages, and we were school. I had left school, I think. In fact, no, I was still at school, but I guess you were being pushed maybe in a certain direction by your family or your careers advisor. It wasn't just a case of, well, in our minds it was like, we're going to be wrestlers and that's it. But was there anything else that going on in your life at the time? Like, what would you be doing if you weren't a wrestler, do you think?
Well, I like the rest of these, but we started training while we were in school. So like back in 2002, 2001, 2002, the dream of being a professional wrestler and making money for it and actually making it to the WWE was just unheard of. Only a handful of people have ever done it, and they all came from England. So for a Scottish guy to do it, it was unheard of. So although you wanted to be a wrestler, you always had something else. Like Big Drew, he had the university degree. Like he wanted to kind of make sure he had that to fall back on. It was criminology or something.
Right.
So I think if I was to pick like a trade or something so that I could work, I'd have been a joiner. I'd like working with wood, building stuff, and then throwing my pals through it to knock it in.
Quite handy being a joiner in wrestling.
But my earlier jobs were only ever just to fund or to give me time off to go to wrestling and make it to shows.
I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. I think I was, based on my personality, I was probably destined to do some kind of performing. I don't know. But
Okay.
like, I don't think I would have. I don't think I would have had a career or another type of career. It would have probably just been jumping from job to job. There was nothing really that I was that interested in. And that's
You used to be a very, very good McDonald's worker, though. You could have climbed the ladder. You could have climbed the ladder, and you could have been like Ronald McDonald or whoever it is that runs that company now.
He's a McDonald's snob. Like we can't go into one now without him sending the bun back for no being cooked, or
very, very seldom do you get to go to McDonald's.
Lettuce being the wrong way around.
Not get into a fight when Andy's with you because the wet floor sign isn't where it should be. Or
excuse me, I think you'll find that this hasn't been dealt with.
You call this 30 grams of sliced lettuce.
But this is the thing. But it's good to have that skill to know that McDonald's should, you know, how McDonald's is actually made.
How it should deliver.
How long did I don't remember how long I worked there. I worked there for about 6 years.
I was going to say 6 years.
But the job that I've just left at the bank, I was there for nearly 9 years. So I've not had that many jobs. I've always stayed in jobs for quite a while.
Aye.
But
see, I'm the opposite. I've had loads. Like
you've done loads of different things.
Aye, pet shop on a Saturday, and that paid for my training during the week, and I was still at school, and then I left school and became a hairdresser because I don't think I would ever have went to university because I didn't know what I wanted to be. It's always been something creative, so whether it would be hairdressing or tattooing, like I wanted to do when I was at school, or like you're saying, Barry, something where you're making something. You know what I mean? Like,
no.
But I think it was just the kind of single vision that you wanted to be a wrestler, and everything you did up until that point was, you know, just funding it and getting you.
I don't even think that. I mean, like when I wanted to be a wrestler, I don't think that I ever had WWE in my goals. Like obviously, you kind of say, "Aye, that would be quite good," but I think the goal was just to be working in wrestling.
That was
I don't think it was because it was that at the time. It was that unrealistic that, you know, you go, I'm going to be in the WWE one day. Everybody's like, what?
No. It's obviously a main goal, and it's a thing to look forward to. But I think if you define everything just with that thing, it's not a good way to live. You know what I mean? If you love wrestling, you should be satisfied in wrestling full time and working in the industry, and no quitting because this isn't happening for you within the time frame that you gave yourself. You know.
It was always just in the back of your mind, but we were all happy wrestling in the weekends and going to Greenock and Bathgate and wherever else we could just get working together. And I remember saying, if we ever write a book about it, I'm going to put him over as keeping us all here. But like, I'm sure when Drew went, Andy turned around to me and says, "We don't need to go anywhere. They're going to come here. We're going to create a scene here, and they're going to have to pay attention." And that's exactly what happened. And this was 2006, maybe 2005 or 6, and he's actually just prophesized the future for British wrestling.
It wasn't even. I mean, we have a lot of English wrestlers that of friends as well, and we got on with a lot of them. But I felt that at the time, the Scottish scene was doing things the right way. Like, people were wrestling in the right kind of matches and stuff. And then like, the business was growing a bit more. Like, I mean, we're getting into this kind of thing here, but even when you look at like Progress and stuff, they essentially started because of the popularity of us north of the border, and they probably felt like they should be doing an equivalent south of the border. When you look at the early Progress shows, the main talent is the guys that were in ICW at the time, like Whippy and Noam and people like that.
It was a definite shift, because when we were obviously training, we wanted to go down south because there was stuff happening down there, and there wasn't a scene here. There was shows, but there was nothing here, and it's amazing to see where we are now.
Yeah, what it's become. If you had told us back then.
No, and we were grateful for what we had back then, you know what I mean? But when you think about all the big, massive venues with nobody in them, like I remember, like the night I was meant to go on my prom, I ditched my prom date to go wrestle at Kilmarnock Grand Hall, and there was about 40 people there. It was so sad.
I remember that.
But the size of the venue is massive, you know what I mean?
I remember no telling anybody that I was a wrestler. It's not something that I told anybody. And I remember when I worked here at McDonald's, and it was that Barry, we went down to Middlesbrough and we wrestled the Natras boys.
Mm-hmm.
So we went down, I think we stayed overnight and stuff like that, and I was meant to be starting work at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, like the next day, and we were still in Middlesbrough and we were travelling back, and I phoned my work and I said, look, I'm going to be late. I'll explain everything to you when I get there. And they're like, what do you mean? Is everything all right? I'm like, it's fine. So eventually, like, we get dropped off in Glasgow, and I get dropped off in my work at 8:30. So I'm 4.5 hours late, but I made it, and they were cool with that. They were just like, what's going on? Why are you 4.5 hours late? And I was like, look, guys, I'm a wrestler, right? And they were like, what? And I was like, and because there was a bunch of guys in the work who were wrestling fans, so I was just, I was a wrestling fan as well. So we were having that chat, and I ended up just coming clean with the whole thing. I says, I'm a wrestler. I've been in England having a wrestling match, and we got held up on the way back, and they were just like, what do you mean you're a wrestler? And I was like, look, I'm a wrestler. Like, it was crazy. But the thing is, even back then, like, you didn't have Facebook, Twitter. There was no proof.
No.
There was no Google Images. Like, there was nothing.
Right.
You just had to take my word for it. And then it was years later. So this became a thing. Like, he's a wrestler, and it was years later. I got a DVD. I managed to get a hold of a DVD, and I took a bunch of the boys for work down to my flat, and we showed them the DVD. I went, here we go. And it was me versus Drew versus Tex Benedict, that 3-way. So Of course this match is like me. I'm like John Cena in this match, like over at the end, and like proper. It was like and they were all jumping up and down it. They couldn't believe it. Like, they couldn't believe this was real. And obviously, like, I won the match and all that, and we were all having a drink and a swally, and they were all jumping up and down and all that when I won the match and stuff. And they were like, I couldn't believe that. Because one of the boys for the work at the time is actually my stepdaughter's dad, and we were up for her birthday not that long ago, and he brought that up. He said, I remember we never believed you, and you took us all down to the house and showed us that DVD, and he said, couldn't believe it was but I've always been like that. Every job, even now, like, I've never gave that away. I've never gave up. I'm not embarrassed or shy or anything like that.
You work in the ICW office there. I know you're a wrestler.
They know.
I just keep it quiet.
It was the same way when I started working in the bank. There was a boy in there who, again, we started getting on really well. Big wrestling fan, proper into it, knew his stuff. And I remember it was a Friday, and I said, he was like, what are you up to tonight? And I said, right, I'm going to tell you something here. I've got a wrestling match tonight. I'm a wrestler. And like, nah. I says, mate, I'm on a show tonight with Kevin
Well, my
Nash.
flat, I'll show you this DVD.
Said, Kevin, I'm going to meet Kevin Nash tonight. And he was like, Kevin Nash. I was like, mate, I swear to God. And it's like,
come on.
but
It's funny you're saying that you never told anybody, because obviously we all started at school, but I did tell everybody because I couldn't hold my water. And
I'm the same.
I was still at school when I had my first match, and it was in a place called the Bonus Ball in Cambuslang. And I wrestled, you're saying Tex Benedict, but it was a British rules match with rounds. Now, I'd never seen a match with rounds before, like no idea how to do it. The timekeeper went out for a fag halfway through the match, so he wasn't calling the rounds. The referee was looking at an invisible watch in his pocket and calling the rounds. And the finish of the match was, and I had a bunch of my pals for school there, and the finish of the match was, I was in a hammerlock and I was meant to go for the backflip reversal, but he moved back and I fell out the ring and I hurt my shoulder. So I'm like, oh no, and he won because I couldn't get back in the ring. And I went to school the following week and sold my shoulder for a full week.
because everybody was there.
That's brilliant.
That
was just in the corner.
I bet a tough bout at the weekend.
My school wrote to my dad, and I remember that the first tour that we went, Barry, with in Scotland with the Barbarian and that.
Aye, up to Perth.
So I dogged school. I dogged school that week to go on this wrestling tour.
It was like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Aye.
Oh my God.
But I think we started on the Wednesday night or something.
We started travelling.
I remember coming home and a letter came through the door and I knew it was for the school, addressed to my dad, and I opened it. I just opened it. And it just literally was for the head teacher, and it just said, Andrew has informed me that he was off school last week because of a wrestling tour. Can you please call me to discuss as soon as possible? I was just like, oh man, I've been rumbled. But I never ever gave my dad a letter. He's never seen it. He just binned it.
Have you still got it? That'd have been cool to keep. That'd have been brilliant to keep.
That was all it said. There was no dialogue. It was just, your son has been done. I don't think my dad knew. I don't think my dad knew I was off school. I think my dad thought I was at school and I was away off wrestling.
You were dogging it.
Aye.
Yeah, that'd be cool to keep. That'd have been a nice wee thing to keep to show you actually were on a show.
Yeah.
And your headmistress had to message and send a letter to your dad. Hey,
I'm going to be in a 4-day tour while you're at school. That's mad.
Nice.
I mean, the tours are good, but I never done it when I was at school.
14, 15, maybe 16-year-old.
Aye. I was in 5th year. I started training in the summer between 4th and 5th year, and I wasn't going to go back to school, and then I did at the very last minute, decided to go back and done 5th year, but I wrestled the whole year, and again, I kept it very quiet until somebody found out about it. But I was
See, that's what I mean. That was the kind of guy you were. Like, that's what I was saying. It was unusual for somebody like you to like wrestling. So, because you were in with everybody that would have been probably like the cooler guys in the class.
By 4th year, I was there. I'd made it. But it was a rags to riches story. When I first went to the secondary school, I was one of the kind of wee guys that was smaller than everybody else, and my boys hadn't dropped yet, and all that kind of stuff.
So I'm red lightning.
It took me a while, but I persevered with it, and by 4th year, greatest year of my life. 4th year, greatest year of my life. Just
still
how
it
just still think 4th year still be the greatest year
because the group of pals that we had was brilliant, and
better than the group of pals we've got now.
Thanks very much.
You were. They were.
Well,
right,
they respected me.
I'm not enjoying this anymore.
They respected me more than yous respect me.
Aye, we can right. Yes, you got it right in the nail there. That's it.
In terms of what we're actually, we want to try and make this a bit more engaging. And yeah, I've not told you about this yet. Actually, what we intend to do is we intend to watch a film. One film per week. We're all going to watch the same film, kind of like a movie club. And and I've given it a name. I've given this segment of the show a name.
Does it get an intro song?
No.
Can we make
Feel
it
free
up?
to sing.
Let's make one right now.
Right.
So
can
tell
I
the name
just-
first. Tell the name first. Keeping it real.
Right.
West Side. West
I
Side.
think. You're not staying the west side, eh? I stay in the east side.
I don't know where I stay. West. West.
No.
No.
You're the east.
I'm the east.
He's
Uh,
no
You
east.
sure? No, I'm not
He's
east.
south.
Where
He's
you stay
south.
now or where you're fae?
Where I'm now.
South-
I'm
South side.
I'm further south.
South side. Aye.
No, you're still for this. You're still on the south side.
I think you're still in the south.
South side. I don't know where I
South,
stay. I don't know where I-
southwest to be exact.
Right.
West of.
Southwest.
Anyway. Keeping it real.
That's
Keeping it real.
copyright. But
Okay.
the essentially what it is what we've done is we've taken a selection of the top movies from the last 4 decades. So we've got movies from the 80s, 90s, noughties, and 10s. We have a randomizer, which I'm going to hopefully show you now.
If this stops on a film that I've seen, it'll be a miracle.
So
The odds against that are massive.
yeah, I'm still here.
I've seen. Aye.
What this
Right.
first wheel here is, this represents the decades. So there's 4 decades on there.
Okay, and you're going to press spin on that.
Giving it a spin.
Here we go, everybody.
So
What
this
are you
is
hoping
for our
for?
first movie.
What's your predictions? This is for our first decade, for our first movie.
Come on.
And then the idea is we watch whatever movie we choose. We all 3 of us watch it, and we come back on the next day and discuss it.
80s.
Yes, that's what I was hoping for.
So
80s,
now
good.
what we have
Great,
on our
great
next
start to this.
our
We're all
next
born-
wheel here, kind of like Wheel of Fortune, is a
Yeah.
selection of the top movies from the 80s as
Can you read
voted
some?
on IMDb. Some
Right,
examples.
Can we read some of them? Aye.
Yeah, we've got Ferris Bueller's Day Off,
Never seen that.
Purple Rain,
Oh, well. Listen, let's just do it now. I can
You've
tell
seen
you all
that.
about it.
Dirty
Big man's seen
Dancing,
that.
Oh,
The Breakfast Club,
never seen that.
Good one. Good one. He's in
Michael
that one.
Jackson's Moonwalker.
No, I never seen that. That looks interesting.
He's got a nice bike in it.
Is it?
So, I've never seen it either. I played the game, but I've never seen the movie. I'm
Mike
still
on a
here,
bike?
by the way. Just my lights off
I
because
can,
I
I
need
can
to.
see, I can see it.
Where did you go? Where did you go?
So
Where are you?
we're ready to spin the wheel and see what we're going to be watching this
Right,
week.
aye.
Oh,
You
I'm
ready,
excited.
Jess? You ready, Jester?
I am
It's
excited.
spinning.
Let me tell you that. Let me tell you that. Purple rain. Come on.
The Lost Boys.
Oh, results.
I've never seen it.
What?
I've never seen The Lost Boys.
Oh,
Never
mate.
seen it? Oh, you're in for a treat.
It's unbelievable.
So
Brought the
again,
soundtrack. The soundtrack to it is amazing.
Jesus, what a pick.
It's a vampire Goonies film.
Aye.
so
very,
we
very
have
clever.
until Sunday, which is a good time to mention that we're going to be live again on Sunday at 8 o'clock. We're going to go for Sundays and Wednesdays every week. Usual places, wherever you're watching now. And we might have some other social media stuff by the weekend as well. But essentially, we're going to watch The Lost Boys, and we're going to a portion of the show on Sunday is going to be us discussing The Lost Boys. We won't be choosing another movie on Sunday. That'll be done next Wednesday, and we'll take our second. But that's set up. There's 40 odd films in there. But I'm excited because it's a film that I've never seen. I was actually surprised I was surprised at the number of films that when I was making it, I hadn't seen. A huge portion of them. And anybody that's watching along and wants to watch The Lost Boys and join in the chat on Sunday, feel free.
I think-
But I'm excited about it.
It might be worthwhile mentioning, like, all 3 is like films, but I suppose you and I have seen a lot more than what Jester has seen, because for
So many.
years and years we've been talking about classic films, and then there's the old, who is it? Is it Limmy's get the joke, the Shawshank Redemption joke?
Aye.
Right. So
What's
that kind
that?
of thing. You know the.
Hey.
Aye,
So
we have different tastes in movies.
aye.
I've seen
But-
Dirty Dancing, Drop Dead Fred.
But
I've
you
seen-
don't watch a lot of films.
I don't.
No.
I've started watching more now. I've started watching all the Marvel films, for example. But I
Right.
watch the same film over and over again, The Labyrinth, because I flick through and
Right.
then go, I don't know if I like that, but I know I like that one, so I just watch it again.
And I actually
What?
watched 2 weeks ago. I watched the Star Wars trilogy for the first time in my life.
See, that's exactly why we're doing stuff like this, because there's certain films that should be seen, and the Star Wars trilogy is something that you would just assume somebody like
Have you
Andy
seen them?
has seen. I've seen every Star Wars, but
Have you seen them?
No, I've never seen that.
An absolute cinema. See, now, I think now, see, like the Marvel films is a good example of this, right? They're good films, right? And the characters, like, you know who they are. The Iron Man and Captain America and all that. But
the
Star
Iron
Wars,
Man.
The Iron Man.
I didn't mean that. I'm
Is
not
that
a pure
that-
gun like a dafty that I
Is
know
that
Iron
band?
Man.
Is that band McFly?
But what?
I'm going to make a vlog. I want to start one of these vlogs.
Vlog sounds better. Vlog sounds better than vlog.
He's like, but then again, you wouldn't say vlog, would you? Not
Going to
even.
write a vlog.
But the cinema now is not anywhere near as good as in even the 80s or 90s. For a start, sets. For me, a big part of cinema is the set. And in the Marvel films, for example, there isn't a set. They're,
CGI, I don't like that.
they're on
either.
treadmills in front of a green screen.
Right.
And when you take Star Wars, for example, obviously there's CGI in it, but the magnitude sets that have been built for that film is unreal. And Hook is another reason that I love Hook.
Right.
And the Flintstones, apparently the Flintstones, there's some kind of fact about the Flintstones movie being
John Goodman one.
one of the last movies that they basically used predominantly sets. That was the last
proper
big
production.
set that was built before they moved into
What about Avatar?
they're not interested in that. What's that about?
Avatar.
Blue people. Blue
I
people.
know what's Smurfs. That's just Smurfs. Then that's like a grown-up version of the Smurfs,
Smurfs
Avatar.
request.
like a live-action Smurfs.
Tall Smurfs.
Like it's just when you watch, like you're saying Star Wars, how everything was built, but then you see like films that are done with like all puppeteering, and you think the money and the time to make every single bit of that and every wee things that are individually made by somebody, that cracks me up. I was watching a thing about, I was telling you the Imagineering.
Aye. Aye.
What is that all
Imagineers.
about? Like that is, how do you even begin? It makes me feel anxious. It gives me an anxiety attack. Just going like everything, just wires everywhere. Wires
every
everywhere.
tiny wee
Somebody,
detail.
somebody putting dots on with a toothpick that nobody could ever possibly see, and you're going, this is just the tiniest wee attention to detail. It's amazing.
Soundtracks as well were bigger than like John Williams. Like I think the only film he's done remotely recently is Harry Potter. But
Right, with the orchestra and that.
Aye.
So we'll talk about this the other night about us humming a theme tune.
Aye.
And I mean, me and Barry had a wee shot, but it was definitely the front runner was definitely Andy in this situation. So
He's a good hammer.
So while we're here, all right,
Right.
should we do one we don't know? If you got one in the top of your head to know that you could just blast out and we'll guess, or do you want to do one that we've heard already but you're good at?
Let's ask everybody listening if they can guess
Right.
what.
It's
what
too
he's
easy
doing.
though. They're too
Yes.
easy.
Well, we'll
different
do
artists,
this.
isn't it?
This could be another segment of the show that we'll do. each
I'll
week.
go. We'll start with an easier one just to give an idea of what we're.
Right, first one to get it right
Don't keep
gets,
in it. Really go for it, full pelt.
gets
Okay.
25 antisocial distancing points.
Right.
Yep.
Ha bum bum bum. Bum bum bum. Bum bum bum. Bum bum. Bum bum bum.
The Wet Bandits come in. The Wet Bandits.
We're the Sticky Bandits.
They did a Sticky Bandits tune.
What's the Sticky Bandits tune?
Dun, 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 dun,
Oh, that one. Yeah.
dun, 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 dun.
Then it. There's a lot of holes in Home Alone. I hope we get to talk about it. It's in the list. It's in there. So hopefully we land on it. But I kind of knew that was coming. But that's fucking humming thing, and
That was brilliant.
although I was happy for us to do it privately, I feel like you've embarrassed me a bit here.
Oh, that was brilliant. That was a skill. That was a skill. Nobody else could do that as well as that.
No, I think this could be maybe one part of the show where every week you come prepared, practice it, get good at it, sell it to us.
Right.
And then we'll guess it. Even me and Barry will guess it. We won't know.
Fair play.
Aye.
Right, fair play.
Nothing, something that I've got a chance with. You know what I mean?
Can everybody that's listening just put over how good that was, to be fair? And if you think you've got a better impression, then tweet it to us on Rudo's. Let's hear you.
If anybody's good at sound effects.
Or if you want any of us to guess, put some up for us to guess.
Oh, I got an angry emoji during that. I don't know. I don't know who it is, but somebody gave me an angry emoji.
Ding at him.
Nah, don't listen to a person like that.
Just look at all the good quality that you're getting through. Look, that was very impressive. Don't listen to the angry emojis. Nah. Maybe he doesn't like Home Alone. Maybe he's got a thing against.
You like Home Alone?
Kevin McAllister.
I cannot believe that wasn't filmed inside a house. I cannot. That's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. They built that. They built it in a gymnasium, in a swimming pool, so they could deliberately flood it. And then like everything in the if you look at everything, it's all green and red to make you think.
What about the myth?
Look at that house. Look how amazing that house was, and it wasn't a house. That was just a box with furniture in it.
What about the myth about Friends with Monica and Chandler when they bought the house? So in the last series of Friends, I think it was the last series with Monica and Chandler, and they bought the house and it was haunted, and Joey was trying to get them to move into it and stuff like that. I don't know if he's a Friends fans, but so obviously it's a set in the Windies, the house. They used stock footage, obviously, to make it look as if there was a street outside.
Yeah.
And apparently the stock footage that they used was the same stock footage that they used for the McAllister house in Home Alone. Oh. So then they go on to create this fan theory that Monica and Chandler moved into the McAllister household.
I like those kind of things. Fan theories are brilliant. Aye. The ones that actually line up and that aren't far-fetched are pretty decent. Like these things could be in the same realm, in the same universe.
It's amazing when you find out how they did all this stuff. The snow in Home Alone.
It's still going on about
the snow. It only snowed one day, so they filmed that one bit first, and then the snow was just potato flakes, like flakes.
Mashed everywhere.
It was like smash. They just blew smash.
Like cheese and onion. Like cheese and onion crisps. Just all over the place.
No, it's like smash. You know, like you add the water and it becomes mashed potato. That.
Aye.
But then it rained and it all started to putrefy and the place smelled like rotten totties.
Just wait until we get to the
next time you watch Home Alone, just think about that smell. Right?
Wait until Home Alone shows up in this.
Oh. Macaulay Culkin had to roll about in that.
I know.
I hope you get this much facts when it comes this Sunday when we're back on talking about the Lost Boys. By the way, maybe the first film that really got me into liking Kiefer Sutherland as an actor. He's in quite a lot of my favourite films. He's brilliant.
It's a very cool film, The Lost Boys, and it's never stopped being cool. It's just like you want to be you want to be one of them because they've got a cool life.
I hope this is good. I really hope this is good.
You will like it. You want
Although
to be one of them.
in saying that, he didn't like Tiger King. So
I mean, he'll definitely like the Lost Boys. It's the soundtrack. You'll come back with some new stuff to sing. You'll definitely fall in love with some of the music.
Well, I hope you're right.
You will. I'm right. I'm right.
Just while we've got you, just wanted to give a quick shout out to our close personal friend Sean McLaughlin, whose better half is helping run an event which is this weekend. It's an online event, kind of an online stream, kind of similar to what we're doing here, called Springfest, and they are fundraising for Who Cares Scotland's COVID-19 response appeal. This campaign will provide a variety of support packages to care experienced people who are facing crisis during the coronavirus pandemic. So they'll be raising funds for people who require support that are in care during the pandemic. So what we need you to do is...
Hold on. Are you saying pandemic?
I was going to say that. I was going to bring that up,
man. This is not the right...
No, I let it go once, but pandemic. Right, keep going. Talk about your pandemic.
So...
I was going to let it.
Oh, so we're laughing now. The Facebook page for the company... Listen, this is important.
Right, okay, sorry.
Facebook is Spring Events, and the stream will be going out within their Facebook group, which is called Springfest. So if you search for either of those things on Facebook, you'll find all the information you need. I believe some of our wrestling friends are appearing across the weekend. I've got the schedule here. We've got David Lopan.
Yes.
Who
we went on holiday with him.
Great.
Very dumb ways.
All the kind of theme songs for ICW. Joe Coffey and Leighton Buzzard are also... I couldn't tell you what they're doing, but they are going to be appearing on Saturday evening on that page. So we'll leave that there. And I'm sorry for pandemic. I'm sorry.
Is that how you...
No, I don't. It's not even...
If anybody should know how to pronounce the word pandemic, it's you.
But what I will say is that I've been watching a lot of news coverage from around the world, and what I will say is that there are people that have used the term pandemic.
And you've just adopted it and thinking we're going to be all right with it.
So do you call tomatoes tomatoes? Do you call basil?
He calls me Wolfie.
You know what I mean?
I don't use either of those terms.
You hear people talking like that.
So
maybe it's like one of the things when you see a word so often it just doesn't sound right. Pandemic. Maybe
if this music thing that Julie's doing, if it's a concert, people are playing guitar and singing songs. Maybe Andy should get a wee 15-minute set of humming tunes.
Yes,
absolutely not.
By the way, if it's
Rudo is humming.
There was a guy on. Remember that there was a guy in Britain's Got Talent that. His talent was that he sang as a saxophone.
Aye, he worked in Walkabout.
Aye, that's right. Aye. And he got to the final as well. Crazy, man. Right. There only is like 3 saxophone songs. Baker Street, Careless Whisper.
Right. And whatever the third one is, forget it, because when you watch the Lost Boys, that's your new saxophone song. The Lost Boys has got one of the most iconic saxophone songs of all time.
Just you wait.
It makes you run about your house.
Is that Capello?
Tim Capello, aye.
Right.
Unbelievable.
Davey Blaze dressed up for his Halloween one time.
He's a ridiculous human.
Don't know what you're talking about.
You will know, but this is the thing. We're geeing you up for it.
Yeah, I hope this is good.
The guy that plays the saxophone.
Ponytail, leather pants, shirtless.
But we are out of time for tonight. We've got plenty more to talk about. We've got plenty more questions. You can ask as many questions as you like. We'll try and get round to them all. We've tried to keep this theme a bit looser rather than talking about wrestling a lot. Because we talk enough about wrestling, don't we? Really.
Aye.
Right.
We do.
I'd rather
looking
talk
forward
about
to
what I had for my dinner and stuff.
everybody going away and watching the Lost Boys, the three of us, but it gives everybody else
Join
something
in
to
with us.
watch.
We've all got
let
loads
us-
of time. Let's all watch films together, and then we
If
can
you're-
talk about it on this. We can talk about it on Twitter. We can talk about it on the socials.
And we haven't tonight. Obviously, we won't, but we haven't even touched TV series,
No.
like good TV series. So there's a
School
bit of
legs
chat
this.
coming about that because I'm not going to get into it now. But my favourite TV series of all time, yous two have both said that yous don't like it. So we'll leave that there. Thanks everybody for watching. We will be playing the repeat on our Facebook pages. I wish we'd like. This sounds like the right time to like the one show, like the wee bit there.
In the background.
What?
The one show.
Why don't we get? Let's get one made. If MD's good with that kind of stuff, make us a jingle.
We need that. We need an intro and an outro.
Yeah.
Yep. But tonight's outro will be
Know that anyway.
okay. Well,
Somebody beeping their horn.
aye, your taxi mate. Well, thanks for tuning in. It's good hearing everybody's comments. So we'll look back at all the comments and see what it seems like. Jester, your mum's been having some kind of social kind of thing going on in the chat here. She's got her
actually-
pals in here. They're having their own conversations. Being quite disruptive, if I'm honest.
She's already started the fan club.
Aye,
Ah,
there we
good.
go.
Fan club. So
Right.
there you go. We need people like that. We need
Right,
people like that.
everybody, beat it.
Thank you. See you later.
Bye.